It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
Every year at this time, we say hail and farewell to some remarkable people who left us during the past 12 months. And although we cannot possibly name them all, we do remember them all. They gave us their best, and for that we give them our thanks.
I'm the best you ever seen, Fats. I'm the best there is.
Paul Newman. He gave us his best.
Love me, hate me, kill me, anything. Just let me know it.
He was cool and hot, a lover and a fighter. And all kinds of rascals.
No sense being a drifter if it's the same as being a citizen.
He gave us so many memorable movies. And the popcorn to go with them. And all of the profits of Newman's own foods go to charity.
I mean, it's not enough that you just have talent. You gotta have character, too.
Paul Newman had plenty of both. Thank you, Paul Newman, for all your gifts. And thank you, Robert Rauschenberg. With your paintings, sculptures, and collages, you revolutionized the art world. Prolific, provocative, and always fearless.
There's so many more interesting ways to be than right.
Bill Buckley found the right most interesting. He was a conservative icon, always quick to put the left in his firing line.
They are indulging in a false, lazy historical disjunction.
William F. Buckley, Jr. was a man of big words and big ideas. George Carlin had a way with words.
There are some words that you can go to jail for.
His irreverent routine about the 7 words you can't say on television
And all I could think of was
made people stand up and take notice, all the way to the Supreme Court. Mildred Loving went to the Supreme Court, too, and she did it in the name of love. Mildred and her husband, Richard, challenged Virginia's ban on interracial marriage. And in a landmark ruling, they won.
It's hard to believe. I still don't believe it, but, you know.
She never wanted to be a hero, Mildred Loving said. Just a bride.
I'm on my way. I don't want to turn about.
If the civil rights movement had a soundtrack, it was the folk artist Odetta who sang it. She marched with Dr. King and moved millions with her voice.
We shall own today.
How are you this morning?
It's been said that when Studs Terkel listened, everybody talked. He was a master interviewer.
What sort of preacher are you?
He'd listen to ordinary Americans talk of war and depression, of working hard and growing old. And he'd give voice to their tales of hard times and high hopes.
Primary Colors, a Mike Nichols film.
No mistaking that voice.
Lethal Weapon 4.
Terminator 2.
In the world of movie trailers,
Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Don LaFontaine led the way. There's no mistaking this beat. The Bo Diddley beat, it's called.
Now, when I was a little boy.
With his signature sound, Bo Diddley was one of the most influential founders of rock and roll, and one of the first to enter the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Take me out to the ball.
Dottie Collins is remembered in the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. She was the strikeout queen of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League back in the 1940s. But it was her pitch to honor women's baseball with its own exhibit at Cooperstown that we remember best. Yes, Dottie Collins was in a league of her own. Johnny Podres was the pitcher, too. In 1955, he led the Brooklyn Dodgers to their only championship, beating the vaunted Yankees in the 7th game of the World Series. Wait till next year, they used to say in Brooklyn. Until that year. Quarterback Sammy Baugh helped change football forever as he popularized the forward pass. Nobody threw a football like slinging Sammy Baugh. Chess was Bobby Fischer's game.
The Russians are going to really be in for it when I get the title.
which he did in 1972, defeating Boris Spassky in perhaps the most memorable match in chess history. Always eccentric, he later became a recluse and a fugitive. But for a time, on the chessboard, Bobby Fischer was king. On the raceway, Phil Hill was king of the hill, the first American Formula One champion. Phil Hill knew the thrill of victory.
Today, Monte Carlo is the scene of the Grand Prix of Monaco, and there they go.
Jim McKay, he left us this year. He brought the wide world of sports into our living rooms for more than 40 years.
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
And when terror struck the Olympic Games in Munich,
Arab terrorists armed with submachine guns, faces black.
He brought that story home, too.
9 were killed at the airport tonight. They're all gone.
Goodbye to you, Jim McKay.
This is Meet the Press with Tim Russert.
And goodbye to you, Tim Russert, a colleague and competitor and premier journalist.
Those high-fluting computers, Tom. This is the answer.
No question about it. For 17 years as host of Meet the Press, you always knew just what to ask.
Questions?
Tony Snow provided the answers. He was the White House spokesman with a ready smile. This man was the best-kept secret in Washington for 30 years. Then, Mark Felt revealed that he was Deep Throat, the anonymous source who helped uncover Watergate. Jesse Helms was a conservative firebrand. Senator No, he was called. He didn't mind. I didn't come to Washington to be a yes man, he said.
This one here is called Thoughts and Dreams.
Yes, they gave us so many things. Tina Allen gave shape to African American history with her portraits in bronze. Yves Saint Laurent gave a new look to modern women. He was a fashion guru. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi gave the Beatles and millions more something to think about. Transcendental meditation. Irvine Robbins found the road to success wasn't rocky after all. He gave us 31 flavors and then some of his Baskin-Robbins ice cream. J.R. Simplot turned his small potato business into billions. He gave us the frozen French fry. And Robert Mondavi gave us the taste of the good life. Here's to you, Robert Mondavi. The Kingston Trio lost not one but 2 voices this year. That's Nick Reynolds on the right and John Stewart in the middle. Surely there is a special place in heaven for Irina Sendler. What a hero she was. As a Catholic social worker in Poland, Irina Sendler defied the Nazis. Her underground network smuggled some 2,500 Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto to freedom. Thank you, Irina Sendler, for your courage and your compassion.
You went away and my heart went with you.
And thank you, Joe Stafford, G.I. Joe, they called her. During World War II and the Korean War, troops serving in far-off lands would listen to the wistful sound of Joe Stafford and think of home.